Okay, what's going on, guys? Just kind of have to back out here. I have to do it like this, unfortunately, but should be fine. All right, so let's talk about the the weather today. So, I'm gonna be talking about Cyclone Judy in this video, as well as weather over the United States and Europe. Actually, just we'll talk about weather around going on around the world as a whole. Yeah. So I think we'll just talk about weather as a whole around the world. So I'll put some timestamps in the subtitles of the video of where you would go for each thing. So for Cyclone Judy, you go to X time. For United States weather, you go to X time, and for every other continent, you go to X time as well. I'll just leave those in the whatchamacallit, the subtitles at the beginning of the video and in the description. Also, if you guys if someone who's watching this video wants to help with, like, I guess translating it, I'll try to make sure the subtitle things are accessible, so you can type the subtitles in your own language, so that more people can understand what's being said in the video. Because I don't speak multiple languages, unfortunately. The only language I speak right now fluently and comprehendedly. It's not a real word, but who people can actually understand me, comprehend what I'm saying. It's English, but I'm trying to learn my languages so I can actually understand what you guys are saying and interact with you guys, and we can build a nice community. As I play other games on here, I want to at least do one of these per day, and I think that should be good. So, yeah, let's get on with it. So, right now, over the United States, this is North America. This is the Ghost 16 True Color Day Shot. This is on Tropical Tidbits website. I think they pull it from the NOAA services. I don't know where to find it on NOAA, but Tropical Tidbits is the number easier way to get to it. Just be aware that just be aware that if this website does get overloaded when there's a big storm, this might not be usable. So we'll keep that. In mind. So, as you can see, we have a winds coming off across the United States like that. Yeah, like that. I have to make sure I actually draw this correctly because this thing doesn't really do what I want it to do. So, I just want this to be the default. Yeah, I just want this to be the default at all times. But yeah. So winds are moving like that across the southern United States at the moment because there's a storm system that's over southwestern United States that's about to come over. We use a subtropical jet stream. There's a trough that's bringing cooler air down over the Pacific Ocean. So this storm did bring rain into California yesterday, and there should be severe weather going on in the southern United States today. Over the North Atlantic, there is another cold front right here, and most of the storm system is up there. Try to make this in blue, just so you guys can read it just a little wee bit better. I have it in this, and I have it in that. So the center of the storm should be up. It should be up there, like north of the top of the screen, north of Newfoundland. The trade winds are coming through the Caribbean, and they're moving up and feeding into storm system that's about to form over the United States. Some of that wind's going into the Eastern Pacific. There's not too much thunderstorm activity in this area right here. It's not too much. Not too many thunderstorms in this area. There's more out in this region, but overall, there's not like too much in this not in the deep tropics. This would be the deep tropics, but around the equator, it's not too many thunderstorms unless you're talking about over South America or farther west in the Pacific. The time up here is in Zulu time, so this will be equivalent to UTC time. So this will be the time over in Greenwich, England. So this is Universal Standard Time. That's how you should read it. So it's approximately 8 p.m. Universal Standard Time. If I translate that into United States time, Eastern US, it's approximately 3:41 p.m. as of the satellite image. So this is a little bit behind. I will try to provide some sort of some sort of what was I going to say? Some sort of time translations in the future. But just keep in mind, Zulu stand is UTC time, so just convert that into your time. I'll try to spell it out for you so you don't have to. And that should give you a roughly good time of when storms should be hitting your area. Impacting your area, rather. So, to look over Natural Weather Service graph for the United States, there's gale watches, wind warnings. This is to be expected during the wintertime because of storms, because of high latitude storms, mid to high latitude storms, bringing winds bringing strong winds because of large air and temperature contrast. So there are surrounding most of the coast. Almost all of Alaska is covered in gale or storm warnings. These are strong winds, so you have to be careful of waves and stuff like that. I think if I click on one of these, it should tell me about what one of these are. I move this over. Yeah, winds 55 knots. So this will be about miles per hour. So this is about 65 miles an hour, I think, if I do the conversions correctly. So seas at 21 feet, snow, and gusts 70 knots overnight. So it will be hurricane force over the water. So just as a reminder. So there's a lot of flash flood warnings. No, not flash flood warnings. Flood watches in this area due to rain in southern Missouri, southern Illinois, southwestern Kentucky, a little bit southwestern Indiana, northern Mississippi, far northern Alabama, western and parts of southern central Tennessee, most Arkansas, and eastern Oklahoma for the current moment. I can find the Storm Prediction Center. I think that would be good, but I have to find it on here. So these would be current alerts, but I think gotta find forecast. Severe weather. So today there is a enhanced risk for severe weather over the Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee area, with a little bit of northeast Texas, a little bit southeastern Oklahoma, but there's a large area of slight risk, and most of this area is a marginal risk for severe weather. And these are based on climatology. Hail's been the most reported thing today so far. Fire. Well, is there a fire? Yeah. Fire for the fire weather outlook. It is for today. It's critical. So if I look at fire, yeah, for critical, it will be critical in southwestern Texas and elevated in New Mexico and parts of Texas. But most of the the critical weather risk is in western Texas and southeastern New Mexico. This is based on fire. So this tells you how likely it is for a fire to spread if it were to get going in this area. So critical is behind extreme. So if a fire does get going in a critical area, it can spread fairly quickly due to high winds and dryness. Yeah, so a potent upper level wave is expected to deepen on Wednesday over western U.S. Low pressure development will occur east of the Rockies and northeast of New Mexico. So stronger winds is what I was talking about. Dry air will result, and this can allow fires to spread. So winds of 25 to 30 miles an hour, and low relative humidity. So, just if you guys are wondering, relative humidity is referring to how close the air temperature is to the dew point. Because when the dew point and the temperature are the same, the relative humidity is 100%, and the air can no longer hold any more water. So when you have really low relative humidities, it means that the dew points are much lower than the temperatures. So the air is really dry, and anything that is flammable, if it were to catch on fire, would be able to burn fairly quickly. But so that's for today, and then tomorrow it moves further east. Well, it stays in the same area, but it expands more into Texas and less into New Mexico. Not all of this. Some of it overlaps with severe weather, but less of it. It's not as close to the severe weather hotspot itself. So, convective outlook for severe thunderstorms. If I can look on here, I wish I could actually figure it out. Because I'm trying to figure out what this is based off of. Day 1, convective outlook. Okay, here it is. Okay, tornado, there's a 10% chance in 10% hatched area in this area. Hatched means is significant, so I think this would mean strong tornadoes. Significant, yeah. Hatch would be significant severe weather in this area. So 10% chance of tornadoes within a 50-mile radius, I believe. No, 25 miles of a point. So 10% chance of 20 miles. 10% chance of a tornado within 25 miles. In that area, 10% or greater probability of EF2 or EF5 tornadoes within 25 miles of a point. So that's for central Arkansas, northern Mississippi, southwestern Tennessee, and a little bit of extreme southeastern Oklahoma and northeastern Texas, Texarkana region. It's 5% encompassing that. So weaker tornadoes, but still possible. Weaker as in like not extremely destructive, but still very dangerous to your health and well-being and to your property. And that covers a wider area. Still northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, southern Tennessee, more of Arkansas, almost all the central to southern part of the state, southeastern Oklahoma, northeastern Texas, and then there's a 2% risk for tornadoes that surround that. So these are your cities. In the 10% significant area, it's Memphis, Tennessee, Little Rock, North Little Rock, Pine Bluff, Bartlett, Tennessee. In the 5%, it's Huntsville, Alabama, Chattanooga, Murfreesboro, Jackson, Decatur, Alabama. And in the 2%, it's Nashville, Tennessee, Atlanta, Georgia, Birmingham, Alabama, Shreveport, and Columbus, Georgia. And here's a summary. A focus corridor severe potential is evident this afternoon through tonight from northeast Texas into the mid-south and the Tennessee Valley. Scattered large to very large hail, damaging winds. Tornadoes are all appear possible. A strong tornado may also occur. 20Z update. Northeast Texas through the mid-south and Tennessee Valley. Recent surface analysis reveals a weak low over North Texas with a stationary front, which means that they have a front that's not moving. So this can lead to a lot of rainfall, extending northeastward across central Arkansas into far southern Illinois. This front has been sharpening over the past few hours as warm, moist air advects northward, so it's advecting from the Gulf of Mexico northward overland. Find it. Where was it? Oh my goodness. This front has been sharpening over the past few hours, affects northward across central/east Texas and lower Mississippi Valley, but cooler, drier trajectories persist through Oklahoma and the Ozark Plateau. 18Z HSV sounding still shows substantial capping, but the increased lift evidenced by lightning activity across southeast Oklahoma and new echoes over southwest Arkansas should begin to erode some of this inhibition. That's how you say it. I'm slurring my words here. Uncertain development is still anticipated later this afternoon and evening. Highest tornado potential is still expected to occur within a narrow zone from southwest Arkansas into northern Mississippi and southwestern Tennessee. In this area, a few discrete supercells are possible. And in North Carolina, a few stronger thunderstorms are possible early tomorrow morning, with the strengthening warmer advection across the region. And also primary serious will be severe hail, and some robust organized updrafts and thunderstorms. So let's also look at wind. Wind, there is a 30% area here. There's not a significant hatch risk for extremely strong. Oh, there's a hatch risk. Never mind. 10% or greater probability of winds gusts 65 knots or greater. This would be hurricane force winds. And this would be 65. No, this would be 58 mile per hour winds. So this is hurricane force wind 65 knots. This is damaging winds. So 30% risk in eastern Arkansas, northwest Mississippi, southwest Tennessee. This encompasses Memphis, Tennessee, Little Rock. Oh, they actually updated it. Oh, they did. Yeah. I think they just updated this thing, guys. Yeah, Conway wasn't here before. Jonesboro wasn't here. 4. Yeah, they extended this. They just extended this thing. 20Z updates. That'll be around now. They just updated this thing. So we gotta see what's happening right now. So that's day 1, and then day 2 is the big day. Moderate risk, Shreveport, Louisiana, Mesquite, Texas, Tyler, Texas, Longview, Texas, Bossier City, Louisiana, Dallas, Texas, and enhanced risk. Memphis, Tennessee, Fort Worth, Texas, Arlington, Texas, Piano, Texas. Slight risk will be Houston, Austin, Pasadena, Beaumont, and Wichita Falls, Texas. And then the marginal risk tomorrow is also San Antonio, Oklahoma City, New Orleans, Louisiana, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Corpus Christi, Texas. So I'll read this one as well, and then we'll actually get into the weather forecast. I think day 3. Day 3 is a big slight risk over the southeast. So we'll also mention that over the next 3 days. Okay, so there's a moderate risk of severe thunderstorms from northeast Texas into southwest Arkansas and northwest Louisiana. A regional severe thunderstorm outbreak appears likely across parts of the southern plains into Arklatex and Arkla, Mississippi regions Thursday into Thursday night with a few strong tornadoes. Widespread damaging wind and all hail are expected. Synopsis: upper low currently moving through central California. It's forecast to continue southwestward today before pivoting eastward tonight and reaching the Arizona-New Mexico border by early Thursday morning, which is tomorrow for me. Continued eastward progression across the southern high plains is anticipated during the day Thursday, a trend towards a negative tilt. And the negative tilt, if you guys are wondering on I think I can draw it on the map for you guys. I gotta actually move up though. Hold on. Let me move up and draw it on the screen for you guys. I'll put it in black. So a negative tilt to trough will look something like this. So cold air is plunging down here, and then warm moisture is moving up like this. A positive tilt will look more like this, where the cold air is pushing down and the warm air is moving like this. I'll actually get rid of these. See, rid of these. And then a neutral tilt would look like this. So that will be a neutral tilt because cold air is coming directly down into the system. So straight. Positive will be this same thing, but it's moved like that. And then negative, like I showed earlier, would be something like this. So it bends to the right, and then more strong, and then the warm air bulbs in here, while the cold air sinks south beneath it, and the low pressure will be somewhere in here. If you guys are wondering, So that's what they mean by negatively tilted trough. So we just talked about discussion, so we'll actually get into the whatchamacallit. We'll talk about tornadoes. Tornadoes. Okay, 15% in this area, 15% significant tornado probability. It's also in the Hatch area, which also encompasses the 10% area. Most of it, not this part of Mississippi, but I think this could be extended. So both of these areas encompass, in the 15% area is Shreveport, Mesquite, Texas, Tyler, Longview, and Bossier City, Louisiana. Dallas, Texas, Memphis, Tennessee, Fort Worth, Arlington, and Plano, Texas. No, not Plano, Texas. That's how you say it. And in 5%, Jackson, Mississippi, Killeen, Texas, Round Rock, Texas, Fort Smith, and then College Station, Texas. And in the in the 2%, it will be Houston, Austin, Texas, New Orleans, Louisiana, Corpus Christi, Texas, and Baton Rouge, Louisiana. For tornadoes, for wind, there's a 45% area for significant wind, so I do encourage you to take significant caution of this, because this is pretty high up the scale. And this is in the Hatch region, so this would be hurricane force winds coming through. So this will be for Garland, Texas, Shreveport, Louisiana, Mesquite, Texas, Tyler, Longview. Same area that will be hit by tornadoes, strong tornadoes as well. So if you don't get a strong tornado, you probably will get high winds either way. So I was still prepared for that. And 30% area, Dallas, Texas, Memphis, Fort Worth, Arlington, Plano. So basically the same cities for the tornado risk are the same cities for the wind risk. Except for the 15% is Houston, Austin, Pasadena, Texas, Beaumont, and Wichita Falls. And then for 5%, it's San Antonio, Oklahoma City, New Orleans, Tulsa, and Corpus Christi. For hail, there's a big 30% area which overlaps with the wind. So this area right here, this Texarkana region, is going to get hit hard by both hail, wind, and tornadoes tomorrow. So you guys have to keep on top of that. And these are for some of the same areas. For 30% risk of a large hail. Oh, they keep expanding it. Yeah, they just worked on this. But yeah, so for large hail, Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, Arlington, Plano, Garland, Texas, and this will be Hatch area. So it will be a 10% or greater probability of 2-inch diameter hail. I believe this is baseball size hail, I think. I have to check. But this is enough to do major damage to life and property, and can kill you if it hits the wrong area and you're outside. So please be careful tomorrow. And day 3 is a slight risk. This looks like a less severe weather day, but even on slight risk days, you'll still get a major tornado in somewhere here if conditions are right. So even though it says a slight risk, still keep an eye on it. So I'll actually do forecast models for this. we'll do the forecast models for this. So we are starting on 12Z GFS. Oh wait, 12Z GFS. So the low pressure system, the storm that just came to California yesterday, is over the Sierra Mountains of California, 1,000 pressure. It's a clipper system, somewhat in Minnesota. It's bringing some snow up there. But for the most part, the majority of the United States at the current moment, or at least on this image, is quiet. So tonight, in 18 hours from now, 12Z would have been 7 a.m. when this would have came out. So 18 hours from 7 a.m. would be around midnight. So around the middle of the night, March, on tomorrow morning, around midnight, there's going to be heavy rain in the Tennessee and Mississippi River Valley. It's going to be heavy rain, because if the global model is seeing it, there has to be a lot of rain going on up here. So that's why the National Weather Service has a bunch of flood watches in here, because there's supposed to be a lot of heavy rain going on as well. As you can see, there's more snow coming into British Columbia up here. And there's snow in Arizona. That slides eastward as we get through the day tomorrow. Peters out, but there should be some snow on the ground in Arizona and New Mexico. Tomorrow, no, that's Friday. Oh yeah, Friday is the big day. Saturday is the third day. Friday, there's a 989 low pressure system over northeast Texas, over central Texas. There is a lot of heavy rain here. So this will be strong storms. A lot of heavy rain here. And that moves northeastward as the day goes on. But this line here is where the severe weather is going to be. But there's going to be a lot of flooding rain in this area up here as well. I think I can also check dew points if I'm correct. So there are dew points of at least up to 60 in this area. So 60-degree dew points, which is a lot of moisture, is coming all the way up from the Gulf of Mexico, and it's bringing that all the way up here into southwest Kentucky, the Mississippi Delta region. That's where it's bringing it. So on the day on Friday, eastern Texas is completely inside 60-degree dew points, some 67, 68 maybe, some 70 right there. So that's a lot of moisture to help the storms feed off of. If we also look at thermodynamics, it should be 70s, so it's plenty warm for storms. This is the cold front, so this will be the dry line area. So as you move, so 36 hours from then, it's going to be 50s in eastern Texas. So it's going to cool down. It's not going to be cold, it's going to cool down. And then the warmer temperatures move into the deep south, Dixie Alley, 70s. One of the cold fronts right here. And then the storms will be here, I believe. But the storms here that are dropping heavy rain will be associated with warmer temperatures. So it's not going to be a cold rain. But after that, it does get chilly. And then on Saturday, severe storms are over the southeastern United States. And then that storm system pushes out of here. So I will actually look at Mexico high resolution rapid refresh model. And we're actually going to start zooming in on the south central United States. And we're going to start looking at radar. Let's wind this all the way back. And this is just starting to generate now. But right now, there are some thunderstorms over northern Texas and northern Arkansas. And those are starting to move. My computer's not working. Oh, it is working. I'm just dumb. Never mind. Alright, there we go. The storms are already over northwestern Texas. It's starting to form up. So there will be some isolated supercells here moving eastward as the main rain starts moving east. At around 3 hours from now, 6 p.m. Eastern time for me. No, this will be local time, so this will be Central time. 6 p.m. Central time. You get strong thunderstorms starting to pop up over eastern Oklahoma, northeastern Texas, as it's moving to Arkansas. There's more indiscrete cells that can produce tornadoes ahead of this. So in Mississippi and in northern Louisiana. Some could be in Texas, but it doesn't look like the atmosphere is there for it just yet. Doesn't look like it's there. As we move in 4 hours from now, there's a lot of rain in Arkansas. Strong thunderstorms are moving in Arkansas at about 7 p.m. Central Time. More discrete storms in front of it. Okay, another hour just loaded. That's good. So more heavy rain begins to fall. This becomes more of a line in Arkansas as we go throughout the day. As we go throughout the night, 9 p.m., even more rain. So more rain starting to build up. So in the street cells behind the line, so V storms could also produce. So this line right here, I'm gonna outline it, is most likely gonna produce heavy rain and strong winds, with some rain-wrapped tornadoes in there, along with some hail. And as I move this further along to the end, to the last hour that we can load, it's even more rain starting to pull up here as this moves eastward. I'll actually drop this back to the 19Z run, so we can actually see what's happening. So as we go through the night, this becomes a large line of storms, and that moves out. But as we do that, tomorrow morning storms start forming over Texas, and they start to move east. And there's some snow over Arizona and New Mexico. So while these storms move out the way, I can move out to the eastern U.S. So while these storms start to move out the way, they just form in Arkansas and they start to move out the way. It's a lot of heavy rain that's coming with this. If I look at total accumulated precip, like this, okay. So if we go from now, those storms drop at least 2 inches. These half an inch in some of these lighter areas. So at least 2 to 3 inches of rain. I think that's darker, so that's probably 4 inches of rain in like a few hours. So I'm gonna go from none. That will be around in 5 hours. So that drops about 2 inches, 2 to 4 inches of rain in about 5 hours. So if that falls fast enough and we get heavy enough rain rates in these areas, that's going to cause flooding. So that's why they have flood watches through this area. And as that keeps moving, I get some rain where I live up here in New Jersey. Well, northeast New Jersey, around like right here. But in this area, you are to be at least expecting 2 to 3 inches of rain in central Arkansas, northern Mississippi, and then southern Tennessee as the thunderstorms move eastward. I could pull up the NAM 3K for longer range for rainfall. And then tomorrow there's more rain that piles up on top of this. So I'll look at that. We'll look at the radar, rain and frozen. So as these storms move out, tomorrow there's going to be more indiscrete cells forming over Texas. Let me actually get rid of this because it's obscuring the view. There's more indiscrete cells to form in Texas. And these storms moving in northern Arkansas around 8 p.m. Well, 8 p.m. here, 7 p.m. for them. And then there's a big line of storms that forms after that. And then you have a large line of thunderstorms that goes all the way down into the Gulf of Mexico. And you have this large area of heavy rain that's over Missouri, northern Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, some part of Texas, northern Texas, eastern Kansas, southern Illinois, Kentucky, southern Indiana, and that keeps moving north. And on the backside, snow seems to wrap around. So you might get some snowfall in Missouri and eastern Kansas and northern Arkansas as time goes on. And that moves northward over time into Saturday as snow gets dropped over Michigan, northern Illinois, and then more rain enters the mid-Atlantic. You do get a line of thunderstorms that does come through before that in Ohio, before it starts getting cold. And in the southeast, it doesn't look to have too many storms, but they're small storms, so you might get some tornadoes out of this. I don't expect a tornado outbreak, but you might get some. And then you get the rain that starts coming through. And if you live in the mid-Atlantic, like Maryland, Virginia, Delmarva, central Pennsylvania, and New Jersey, you're going to get a lot of rain out of this. And then upstate into the northern areas of the northeast, you get snow and some mixed ice with that. So you can also look at dynamics. the wind. So there is a wind. So there is some 32 knot winds behind this cold front as it does push through. And it looks like there is a lot of wind that also comes with it as it pushes through the northern Mississippi River Delta, this area. Not this delta, but this delta right here. So as it moves into the Midwest from the south. So there will be some wind there. And then obviously as it moves closer to the coastline, as wind moves over water, wind moves over water, it will move faster because it's no longer impeded by land. There's less friction, so wind will be able to move faster and be able to pile up along the coastline. So you might get some rip current. So you will get rip currents out of this wind, and you will also get some. I wouldn't say a lot of coastal flooding, but you will get some coastal flooding in this area. Rip currents, you won't really. Most people won't have to worry about because the water here is too cold to swim in anyway. If I look at at least like the warm water, I go to the North Atlantic. I think if I can actually get it. Doesn't want to give it to me, unfortunately. Okay, I think it's just bugged. But yeah, the water's in like the 20 degrees Celsius here, and in the Northeast is even colder. So you're not going to be swimming in this water. But if, in case you were, or you're on a boat, there will be strong winds in this area for you guys that you guys have to worry about, or just make sure that you keep on top of. And overall, main things to watch out for today and tomorrow, if you live in Texas, Eastern Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, Tennessee, and Kentucky. Main things that you have to watch out for, especially in Arkansas and Western Tennessee. Main things you have to watch out for are hail, strong tornadoes, and damaging wind, especially as this line comes through. You have to watch out for that line. This first line will probably bring some damaging winds after tornado threat goes down overnight. But heavy rain is definitely going to be an issue. But on Friday, these indiscrete cells that pop up over Texas are going to be something that you have to watch. So you have to make sure your radio's on. So once these thunderstorms pop up, you're going to have these indiscrete ones at first. So these are going to be the ones that carry your tornadoes. The ones that look bean-shaped. But once you get overnight, like past 9 p.m., still be indiscrete supercells in front of the storm. But you got to make sure that the rain, that the damaging winds from this line, and then the heavy rain after nightfall is going to be the biggest threat once tornado threat decreases as the sun goes down. So during the daytime, be aware of strong winds and strong tornadoes that come through your area on Friday and somewhat today, as we're talking about now. That starts to form later on, and then heavy rain as you move eastward. But mainly tomorrow, if you're wondering about tornadoes, the main threat that's going to be in the afternoon and evening. But as you get towards midnight, heavy rain is going to be the biggest issue, along with wind damage in Arkansas, and then pushing up into the Midwest, into Missouri, and north of there. So that's the severe weather covered in the United States. That's that covered. Now let's move over to Cyclone Judy in the South Pacific. Let's move over to this. This is a dwarf model, but let's move over to that. We'll actually pull up the satellite imagery first. So Cyclone Judy is a strong storm. It does seem to be weakening on satellite presentation, but it's moved east of Vanuatu, which is this island right here. I'll outline it for you guys. This island right here. It's moved through these islands. I don't think it's made landfall, but it's passed close to these islands and it's brought heavy rain there. and is moving southeastward as it gets into the jet stream over time. It's still producing thunderstorm cloud tops of over 90, not over 90, but over minus 80 degrees Celsius, and getting closer to negative 90. So there's still strong thunderstorm activity in the storm, but it's not as well defined as it was earlier by any means. It was stronger when it was farther north, but as it moves south, it won't be. It's going to weaken as it gets into the jet stream. But it could always do what tropical cyclones do when they get into the jet stream, which is they transition into into like an extratropical storm or a mid-latitude cyclone, cold core system, which means that the storm is colder at the surface, colder inside the storm than it is outside of it. So it can easily transition to one of those types of storms. So I will actually move over to Southwest Pacific so we can talk about this. 974 millibars is the current pressure of it. As it moves southeastward into the jet stream, it will weaken down, lose its tropical characteristics, and it won't be a thought for people on land in the long term. But if you are in shipping or in harbor interests, it will be something to watch just so you don't get caught up in it. It's still bringing rain to these islands, but the area of interest behind it, like this right here, is going to be an issue for these islands again. It's following a similar track to what Judy took. It's going to move over a similar area. So as that moves south, it's going to intensify pretty quickly. It's going to be a 964. So it's probably going to be a Cat 2, maybe a Cat 3 that's moving through these islands again. It's going to miss Vanuatu, but don't let this deceive you. The wind field is going to be big, large, and you're still going to get rip currents on the island of Vanuatu and rain. You're just not going to get the eye wall of the center of the storm. So that storm is also going to move into a pretty similar area that Judy moves to eventually. And then later on, you guys don't have to worry about another storm like that forming in this particular area until later. But that's a long time out. Just want to keep in the 7-day range if possible. So you might get more tropical waves that form up along this monsoonal area. But after the next storm after Judy, it doesn't look like you're going to get a major tropical cyclone that passes through this area again for at least a week based on this model. If I look at the Euro, it could possibly be different. If I look at the Euro, Judy's still very stronger, initialized stronger, moves southeast. Next storm behind it also develops, moves to a similar area. Also follows its tracks, and then a storm later down the pipe then starts to develop. So that might be something to look at as we look further into the future, when we're more certain about what's going to happen. So if we I can look at rainfall totals, total cumulative precip. To get rid of this. Now this is a lot of rain. Most of this is over water, but it's still a lot of rain. So next time, if I remember correctly, if I move this back, okay, that's Judy right there. So Judy will leave, it will drop some rain, and as it moves this way. So you could expect another 2 inches of rain over the next 36 hours on these islands, along some wind. But then the next storm comes through and it drops. On this island, it seems to drop at least 150 milliliters of rain. remember correctly, this would have been 2 inches. This has been 3. So this is getting up to at least 7 inches of rain, 8 inches of rain if converting to the imperial system. But there's still going to be a lot of water that comes down these islands, as that next storm will move directly over, and then it will follow the same path as Judy did. I can also look at the 10 millimeter wind. So Judy is moving out. So we get another storm it's not going to be as strong as Judy when it's moving across these islands, but it will go directly over them. So 981 hurricane moving over these islands is a definite possibility. So that will bring a good amount of storm surge to these islands. So be prepared for that. And heavy rain and strong winds. And since you just had a storm that came through that area, it will make recovery, if you have started recovering now, more difficult because another storm will undo what you just did. Undo part of what you just did, adding to the recovery costs. But after that, it looks calm until later on in the run, and that's on the Euro, on the GFS. It does go to those islands stronger, so it does go to the islands just as strong as Judy did. So be careful about that. Looks to be even a little bit stronger, at least on a wind perspective. So you have to watch the next storm that comes after Judy. I remember I can look up the Australian names list for this year right now, actually, if you guys give me some time. So I'll look for 2022, 2023 Australian cyclone. Yeah, this season. It's a Wikipedia article, but I can find the names on here, I think. Or no, I don't know. Storm names, yeah, storm names. There they are. So we are on F. Freddy, got Gabriel. Trying to look for Judy. Look for the South Pacific, I think. Yeah, South Pacific. This is where it is. South Pacific. Storm names. We're on Judy, so Kevin will be the next name after this. So watch out for Kevin as it moves into this area, into these islands north of Vanuatu. As that skirts and moves southeast and enters the jet stream. So overall, guys, that was the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Enjoyed the content. I know the video is extremely long. I am sorry about that. But I think it was important to cover both severe weather in the United States and to cover the weather in tropical cyclone world in Southwest Pacific. So I'll do like a quick rundown of the world as we are going right now, globally at least. Probably add this here. So warm sea surface temperatures in Southwest Pacific will not give these tropical cyclones any problem. If there is a problem, it will most likely have to be wind shear. Goodness. I'm sorry guys, my skin does itch a lot, so it feels like bugs are crawling on top of me when they're not. So there's plenty of warm water for these storms to get going. Only real issues would be their own self-structure, upwelling because the next storm is going over the same areas as Judy just went over. Kevin's going to the same areas as Judy just went over, and wind shear will be a big factor. Southwest Indian Ocean cool down a little bit where Freddie has gone through. His remnant low still over southeastern Africa, and it is supposed to reemerge and enter Madagascar, the Mozambique Channel again. So we'll see how that goes. The water in the western Atlantic is starting to warm up. La Nina is trying to hold on. There is a little bit of hope, some hope for it. There is some colder water here. But if that westernly bound wind in March does come through, it's not going to be too good for whatchamacallit. It's not going to be too good for the La Nina state as a whole. But, you know, things do happen. And things can be unexpected sometimes. So, if things do change, I'll let you know. But for right now, I think we should be fine. Over the United States, below average temperatures in the northern half of the U.S. for the next week, 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. In Alaska, it is supposed to be warmer than normal. And in the southern southeastern United States, close to the Gulf of Mexico, it will be warmer than normal. And precipitation across most of the United States, except for the Great Lakes region and southern Alaska, should be above normal. And in those areas that I just mentioned, it should be below normal. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. No, see you guys next time when I make an update. I hope to make at least one of these at least one per week, but I want to make one every single day. So your tropical outlook. There are some tropical cyclones that are expected to form in these areas. It is still dry over the over Central Pacific and in Central Indian Ocean. But we shall see how stuff goes in the future. So this was Storm, and I hope you guys have a good day. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.